Ever wondered what the Federal Reserve, commonly known as the Fed, really does and how it impacts your daily life? In this article by Sparkman, he discusses the core functions and history of the United States central banking system. Established in 1913 by the Federal Reserve Act, the Fed was created in response to financial panics and downturns in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. But what exactly is the Federal Reserve, and how does it operate? The Federal Reserve System is a unique hybrid institution combining both public and private elements. The Board of Governors is a government agency, while the 12 regional Federal Reserve banks are set up like private corporations. However, holding stock in these banks doesn't grant the usual control and financial interests seen in for-profit organizations. Before the Fed, the U.S. banking system was chaotic and unstable. Banks issued their own currencies, leading to inconsistent values and complicating trade and commerce. Several attempts at centralized banking were made, but it wasn't until the Panic of 1907 that the need for a central bank became undeniable. The Panic of 1907, marked by bank runs and economic crisis, prompted Congress to pass the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. This legislation established the Federal Reserve System, giving it the authority to regulate the money supply, set interest rates, and act as the lender of last resort. The Federal Reserve comprises a board of governors, appointed by the President and confirmed by the Senate, and 12 regional banks. The board sets monetary policy, while the regional banks implement it. One of the Fed's essential tools is the federal funds rate, the interest rate at which banks lend to each other overnight. By adjusting this rate, the Fed influences the interest rates banks charge their customers, affecting borrowing and spending across the economy. In times of economic crisis, like the 2008 financial meltdown, the Fed steps in as the lender of last resort, providing stability to banks and financial institutions. Additionally, the Fed supervises and regulates banks to ensure a safer financial system and protect consumers from deceptive practices. But can the Fed prevent recessions and depressions? The Great Depression of the 1930s tested the Fed's capabilities. Despite its efforts, the Fed's limited monetary policy tools and the constraints of the gold standard hindered its ability to mitigate the crisis. Today, while the Fed has more flexibility, it still faces challenges beyond its control, such as political and social issues. So how does the Fed affect you? When the Fed raises interest rates, borrowing becomes more expensive, impacting everything from mortgages to credit cards. Conversely, higher rates can lead to better yields on savings accounts and CDs. The Fed's actions also influence Wall Street, the job market, and your purchasing power. For instance, higher interest rates can slow down economic activity, potentially leading to layoffs and reduced expansion plans for businesses. The Federal Reserve is a part private, part public entity designed to stabilize the banking system and ensure economic uniformity. Its decisions influence banking, the job market, Wall Street, and your purchasing power. Understanding the Fed's role helps you grasp how monetary policy impacts your financial life. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the Federal Reserve's history and functions. If you'd like more articles like this, visit safemoneytrends.com.